Hello and welcome. I'm Jim with Working with Miniatures, and today we're going to be painting Infantrymen from the Pathfinder Battles Deep Cuts line by Wizkids. We'll be using Army Painter paints, including their speed paints, their skin tone paints, and their metallic paints. There's 2 miniatures in this blister pack, so let's get started. After priming the miniatures white, I apply Holy White speed paint across the robes. This color tends to be a light gray, but works well as a base coat for layering lighter shades of white atop of it later. For the boots, belts, gloves, and backpack, I apply dark wood. This is a great color in my opinion and one of my favorites from the speed paint line. I apply sand golem to both the scabbard and the small pouch on their belts. I didn't do these in dark wood as I wanted just a little more color other than holy white and dark wood. To prevent potential reactivation issues, I spray the miniatures with Army Painter's anti-shine matte varnish. I apply several light coats, allowing time to dry in between. For the ringmail and banding for the shields, I base coat them with gunmetal thinned with water. It's not as thin as a glaze, but only just so. Because gunmetal is so reflective, the recesses of the ringmail becomes difficult to distinguish, so I apply dark tone wash across all of the ringmail and under the rivets of the shield's banding. I apply plate mail metal across the top 30 to 40% of the arms, coif, shield, and the rivets, anywhere that would pick up the most light. In retrospect, I wish I had dry brushed these highlights. I apply shining silver across the top 10 to 15% of the previous step, and again this would have been a better result had it been dry brushed. I apply fairy dust to 5% of the previous step, as well as an edge highlight to the shield. For the main body of the shield, I apply the metallic gemstone that has been slightly watered down. I do this over several light coats as I've never used this color before and wanted to slowly build it up to a smooth finish. While the gemstone dries, I apply rough iron to the scabbard and the crossguard and counterweight of the sword. The same parts in the previous step are then highlighted with true copper. With the shield now dry and its emblem painted with gunmetal, I applied dark tone wash around it and into the sculpted nicks and scratches. Once the wash is dried, I clean up any staining with a little more gemstone paint. I begin layering highlights onto the robes of the infantrymen. During this step, the robes will begin looking less gray and more white. I apply matte white as the next and final highlight over the robes. This is applied as an edge highlight. With desert yellow, I apply an edge highlight along the ridges of the leather wrappings around the scabbard, as well as on the small pouches. Monster brown is then applied as an edge highlight, as well as a slight volumetric highlight on the uppermost parts of the backpack, gloves, boots, and belt. At this point, I begin blocking in other details that I had skimmed over, such as a sword blade, which I should have done at the same time as the ringmail. With oak brown, I paint the handle of the sword and the back of the shield, as I want them to be unpainted wood. Painting the back of the shield was incredibly difficult. With fur brown, I highlight the sword handle and add horizontal lines across the back of the shield to emulate wood grain. Again, this was very difficult to do. I add an additional narrower horizontal line across the back of the shield with Monster Brown to add a little more depth of color. With the back of the shield now finished, I go back and add rough iron to the handles of the shields. In retrospect, I didn't use gunmetal since it would be difficult to differentiate the shield handles from the ringmail sleeve. I add an edge highlight of true copper to the shield handles, or at least what I could safely reach. With blood red speed paint, I then paint the cloth hanging from the back of one of the helmets. I want it to be close to the gemstone, but since it's cloth, I don't want it to have a metallic sheen. With shining silver, I added edge and volumetric highlights to the sword blade. I start on the flesh with a base coat of maca skin for one of the infantrymen. I do this in multiple coats, and the paint has been thinned by water. I then follow this with a highlight of tiger's eye skin. I then applied the strong skin tone wash all over the face. Once the wash is dried, I redo the highlights of the tiger's eye skin. For a final highlight, I apply jasper skin sparingly. The facial hair on this miniature is done, very carefully, with grim black speed paint. For the second infantryman, I applied jasper skin as the base coat. I follow the jasper skin with a highlight of amber skin. I apply soft skin wash, but it was not enough to dull the transitions between the two skin tones. To ease the transitions between the two, I combine jasper skin with amber skin at a 1:1 ratio. The final highlight is then done with Dorado skin. The eyes are done by first painting the eye socket with matte black, and then painting the sclera with matte white. When painting the sclera, be sure to leave a black border all the way around it, and finally paint a thin line down the center, ensuring it connects the black border at the top and bottom of the sclera. When painting eyes, I generally use the Army Painter's character or detail brush. This is the finished results, as well as a quick reference to the paints used in this project. For lessons learned, the divide between jasper skin and amber skin is too great to transition directly from one to the other, but a 1:1 mix of the two bridges the gap between them nicely. Also, when highlighting armor such as ringmail, it's better to dry brush the highlights than to paint them on as if painting a base coat. That's going to do it for today. I hope you learned something or were inspired to start or expand your own collection. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And if you like the content of this video and would like to see more, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm Jim with Working with Miniatures. I'm truly grateful for your time, and I bid you a fond farewell. Until the next video.